can you please talk about optimizing cost and token consumption when it comes to multi-agent system? So I'm going to address both of them together. Let me actually have another white screen. So let's take this question first from David. David is asking whether the chaining creates separate round trips to an LLM. So David is asking how the chaining works and how does it work in an LLM setting if we have agentic behavior. So David, if I remove all of this again and I come to this example again, let me remove it, have my eraser. Okay. All right. So chaining with multiple agents somewhat look like this. It's a sequential chain that have uh, that have all of these agents set up. So for chaining, we really need to have a basic principle of uh, the chain of thoughts. So chain of thought is something uh, we have to actually understand before we move forward from here. So consider chaining and multiple round trips of coming to the same agent, which means you can have a web search tool over here that is going to crawl the internet and going to get the responses from Google or Bing or DuckDuckGo or Tably search. And having said that, this web search agent is one of a kind of chain that you are going to utilize. And then this web search, let's say if I want to ask about the stock market, that about the XYZ stocks rate from the past rates from the past 5 years. And getting this response from this, I'm going to ask this agent to generate plots for me. So it is going to write the code and generate the plots for me. And once you have this chain executed, now you will ask it to write a detailed report based on the plots plus the plots plus the data we got from the internet. And once you have the detailed report, you're going to ask the consolidator to generate a final response for it. So that's how chaining works and they are also called React agents, which means they reason on a certain idea and then act according to it. All right, so we have two more questions. Can these agents use different model for their processing? Absolutely. So if I really believe GPT-4o or any other model is good in certain ideas, I'm gonna pick that up and I'm gonna let me actually draw it again. So I can call it as this agent can use Llama 2 or Llama 3. This plots for plots, I always admire agent from Claude. You can use any agent for generating plots. And I'm gonna say that the detailed report writer would be my GPT-4o, and this could be any agent from Claude. So yes, all of these agents can use different models for processing. Are we going to have a similar session on multi-model as well? So for multi-model scenarios, you will have multiple models that can generate images, that can generate videos, that can generate text, and then setting up all of them together, we have a certain thing in one of our project. We have been building that. So it actually looks like something similar if I have the pen ready. So a multi-model scenario is when you have access to both configurations, whether it is generating a voice, whether it is generating voice or generating images or generating videos. So these are some capabilities that you can avail using multimodal workflows. So there is this question from John. Do you recommend that we create a system where an agent can actually create other agents as needed, or should the agent should be established and consistent? That's a really interesting question. So, John, you're saying that we just create a supervisor and it is going to work its way on its own, whether it wants to use a certain agent or not. So, instead of that, think of developing 100 skills for your agent. And then on the fly, that supervisor would actually detect the intent of the query, and out of from that 100 skills, they picked one skill and then do the iteration on it, and then do the end-to-end work on it. So I would rather recommend having 100 skills and then letting the supervisor pick one from it, or just building a supervisor that can create agents of its own. It would be somewhat dark, because what if it creates an agent that is going to hack a few websites over the internet? Because that would be something out of control. So that is what a big organizations and companies are targeting over that super intelligence in AI, that the agent would actually create minor agents on their own, and then they are going to do their task. And once the task is accomplished, they're going to destroy those agents. But what if they never destroyed them? So that is a food for thought for you, John. So Sean is saying, why not have the 100+ agent debate and decide who is the best to take the task, or even collaborate between each other for different functional roles? So, uh, so it looks like we are going towards more or like bureaucracy, where we are thinking about what to do and what not to do.